And I was training their 500 sales reps, right, who were going door-to-door prospecting. And I was working with this guy called Chris, who I loved. He was amazing. And I went out of him on a Monday, and I watched him door knock. And he door knocked businesses, estate agents, pubs, restaurants, to talk about their waste collection. And we were doing it all day. He was getting loads of phone numbers, but he wasn't getting any sales. And I was just watching and observing. And I said goodbye to him. He did that every day for the week. On Friday, we went into the meeting with his sales manager. I was there. And the manager, called Richard, went around the room and asked how many sales you got this week. And I could see Chris getting really uncomfortable in front of his peers. So we went around the room. I've got 15 sales, 18 sales. And Chris, no, nothing this week, boss. You shouldn't even be in sales. I thought, is that going to motivate and empower Chris? Is it going to inspire Chris? And he came up to me at lunch. He said, Tony, I love your training. You've really helped me. But what's your advice? When I speak to Richard, he just brings me right down and I just feel rubbish. What advice can you give me? I said, I'm going to give you 2 bits of advice. Number 1, avoid Richard. He's not serving you. Avoid him like the plague. But number 2, change your focus. He said, I don't know what you mean. I said, get your book out, the little black book you had on the Monday with me, and I want to ask you some questions. So he got his book out, and I said, how many decision makers of the restaurants, pubs, etc., did you speak to? He counted it up, 23. And out of those 23 business owners, how many of them did you find out who the supplier is and what their anniversary date is? 17. And out of those 17 business owners where you found out who they're with, their waste collection company, the contract date, the price they're paying, how many of them did you get their mobile numbers? He said, I don't get your point. I said, how many? He said, 15. I said, Chris, you've had the best week ever. You're just not focusing on it. What Chris focused on is what most salespeople focused on. He focused on what he did not achieve. Focus on what you did achieve and it changes everything. I said, you've got 15 opportunities in your pipeline. You imagine that's 60 a month, that's 700 opportunities a year that you're not thinking about right now. Because he was focusing on what Richard said, how many sales have you made? That wasn't good leadership and that didn't inspire him to do better. Chris Anderson, when I changed that, became their top salesperson for 2 years running. He then got headhunted by Biffa. He became the sales director. He got headhunted again by the biggest R&D tax relief company in France. He now earns about £700,000 a year and looks after 25 leaders who look after a huge sales team. I said, you've got to phone Richard and say, I am a good salesperson. True story.